Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today the topic is options. The reason the name is options, I guess, is because it gives a lot of options. Whether you are a buyer or a seller, the options give you a lot of flexibility. So options basically give you flexibility, right? Now the difference between options and the other instruments is basically options are derived from a certain underlying. For example, Nifty options means the prices of the options or whatever the way the options behave, it directly depends on the price movement of the Nifty, right? So we'll just go through quickly what the options are. Very fundamentals, like ultra basic. Option is a huge subject and quite complex compared to other instruments because other instruments are linear. As the price goes up and you make more profit. But in the case of options, you may make money when the price goes down. You may make a lot of money when the price goes further down, especially the fast moves. So you can make a lot of money. Whether it is going down, whether it is range bound, whether it is extremely volatile in the same day. So either way, there are strategies. You can adjust your positions in a way to make money in all the given circumstances. Now, starting with call option. Basically, there are two options. One is called call option and other is called a put option. Now, what is a call option? Call, and we have put. A call option is basically an obligation for the seller. If I'm giving an option, it means, if I'm selling an option, it means that I have the obligation to sell if so and so criteria is met. And you as the buyer has the option to buy. For example, you bought the option of, say, for example, 16,000 call option and the Nifty ended up at 15,800. So there is no use of that option because there is no intrinsic value. That option has anyways no value. For example, you have the option of Infosys 1650 and the value of Infosys is close to 1600 at expiration. It means you actually lost it. So that option will have no value. So we will talk about it later. It's called intrinsic value, extrinsic value, and delta, vega, theta. So there are so many dynamics to the option. But fundamentally, an option buyer and an option seller are two different personalities. The people who buy the options, they don't like selling at all. I mean, it doesn't make them any sense. Why should I sell the option? And to the option seller, he has a large capital and they don't like buying at all. Usually there are two different personalities. And by talking to them, you can clearly make out he comes into the buyer category and the other comes into the seller category. So let us start with buying and selling. What is the risk profile? And whether you want to be a buyer or a seller, it's totally up to you. I'll just mention the pros and cons of buying and selling options. So suppose you are an option buyer. Okay. All right. So say for example, call option, you are the buyer. You are the buyer. So if you are a buyer, you have limited risk. You have limited risk. Your risk is limited to the amount of premium that you pay. And your reward or the profit potential, it's unlimited. Suppose you bought an option for 200 rupees you paid and you bought 1600 strike Infosys and the earnings results came and the price went to, say, for example, 2000. So you made a big gain out of it. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. Right? So you have unlimited profit potential. You have limited risk. You have unlimited profit, but you have a low probability. Okay, the reason I call low probability because say for example you bought 1650 call option, while the strike price is 1600, the ATM is at 16 and you bought a call of 1650. If the price doesn't move, you lost the money. Price goes to 1640, you still lost the money. 1650 also, you lost the money. If it comes down, you definitely lost the money. So there are three options that you can lose the money. So for you to make the money as an option buyer, the price has to move up and it has to move significantly up. After 1650, for example, if you have paid 30 rupees as premium, just an example, then the price has to exceed 1680. So whatever you make above 1680, that will be your profit. So, you have low probability. Let's talk about seller. Seller, unfortunately, on the paper, has limited profit, limited reward. He gets limited. Whatever premium he collects, for example, someone is paying him to buy Tesla shares. You are getting paid. For example, the premium is like $2,000. That is the maximum profit you'll be getting. Limited profit and unlimited loss. Unlimited loss. If the price moves against you, you sold a call option and the price went up dramatically, huge, then you made a big loss. Number 3 needs a lot of capital compared to buying. You need to keep the margin money. Like, for example, the exchange will decide with the movements and all that. They have all the calculations. It's all fully automatic. It's fully computed kind of a software. That in different countries also it is different. So you need to keep the margin. While you're collecting, for example, 10,000 rupees, you will be keeping like 100,000 rupees as a margin. So you need a lot of capital. All right. So these are the characteristics, and you also have high probability compared to you have higher probability compared to the buying. Seller has more probability of succeeding. That's why he's okay with the limited profit, unlimited loss, lot of capital. They have a lot of capital. That's why they come to selling higher probability. But however, I highly disagree with this because there are a lot of options available where we can limit the loss by, for example, I sold a call and then I bought a call. Like I sold a call of 1600 and I bought a call of 1650. So, instead of naked calls or naked puts, I would rather sell call spreads or put spreads. Now, what are spreads? That also we'll discuss it later. So, to summarize, we'll just compare both of them. Seller and we have a buyer. Right? Buyer is usually a retail and a small investor. You want to invest 1,000 and then make 100,000. Right? And the seller is usually HNI, or at least I would say a well-informed, sensible investor. HNI or institutional investor. Institutional investor it could be, or it could be a professional investor. Okay, so I'm not saying buyers are not professional. Buyers do have a small category of buyers who are profitable. They are extremely talented maybe, and they know technical analysis very well and everything. Okay. Seller has just one concern: he should not go wrong. He should not be wrong. Right? And the buyer must be right. Do you see the difference? Not being wrong and being right. For example, if I tell you that, say, for example, Tesla is at XYZ price, it's difficult to say what will be the price tomorrow, but it will be easy to say what will not be the price tomorrow. It will not be $1,000, for example. So this is the basic difference between the buying and the selling. As a buyer, you need to say you must be right, you must be very right, you must be right in the given time frame. As a seller, you should not be wrong. If at all you get wrong, you try to correct your positions by hedging, and that hedge option is not available to the buyer. Now, how do we hedge? And again, it's a long story and we will cover in the later chapters. So this itself will give you an idea what is selling all about, okay? And this guy takes unlimited risk on the paper, at least. Unlimited risk. His risk is limited to the premium that he paid, okay? For example, to buy XYZ stock, he paid $1,000. That is the maximum risk he's taking. But the maximum profit that seller will get for that particular contract is $1,000. That is the maximum. And the risk he's taking is unlimited. And this needs more capital, lesser capital. And there is something called theta or time decay. As the time passes, as you get close to the expiration, and if nothing happens, if the movement doesn't happen, then the seller benefits. So time decay is in favor of seller. It works against the buyer, right? So this is the fundamental. So if you want to invest $1,000, if you want to make $100,000, okay, and you are willing to risk $1,000 all the time, you will be a buyer. But if I say I will invest $100,000, but I'm okay to make $3,000 to $4,000 per month, or $2,000 to $3,000 per month consistently, then selling is for me. This is the fundamental difference.